Peace, and love, everybody. Welcome back to Vibes with Moody. My name is MoodyBugz. Today we'll be trading NASDAQ again. I always love trading NASDAQ, especially at the market opening. It moves very volatile, gives you a lot of points, and you can take a lot of money home, right? However, I already got some things charted up. I'll share my screen here in a second. However, today is Monday, January the 26th of 2006, right? However, I want everybody to keep in mind, no trigger, no trade, all right? No trigger, no trade. There's no reason to rush into this market. And then again, if you're coming in a little late or if you don't catch a trade with us, please do know that you can wait till 10 a.m. to take a nice trade. 10 a.m. is just like the market opening at 9:30. You're looking at that 4-hour candlestick that is opening up here on NASDAQ. However, peace and love to everybody. Here goes the screen. Let's go ahead and look at these charts, right? So for NASDAQ, overall, before I even tell you about my entry points, let's just go to a bigger time frame really quickly and just look at what we got going on here, right? So as we see, we're in a nice cup and handle, right? Inverse head and shoulders. Let me draw it out so people are able to see it. Let me take off this magnet real quick. We got a shoulder here, got a big old head here, and we had a small shoulder here that pushed us all the way up, right? And that's gonna be boom, neckline, breakout, and now we have our bull flag, which we can potentially go ahead and break out, right? So we're in a cup and handle at the moment, right? So let me go ahead and delete all that stuff so we don't just have that wacky stuff on the chart. However, as we see here, we got down at market opening around 6 p.m. of the previous day. I kind of called the gap. I didn't say if it was going to gap down or up yet. I knew that we would gap from this level just from previous price action. As you see, we continue to gap from this level, and it was not the first time that we did, right? However, and there it is for anybody that's in the group that was like trying to figure out how did I know that. Well, we came down, we swept out a lot of liquidity, came down to the market structure and was able to close everything on this candlestick above the market structure of the golden pocket, right? So right now we also have another cup that we're forming, right? So let's see how we blast off. Now I'll give you a little tip and tricks before we do anything else. One thing that you can do is take this price range, right? Let me go ahead and turn on the magnet, right? And just grab it from the pole. See, I'm gonna be a little greedy. I'm gonna put these two candlesticks together. And let me show you why I would do that because I normally wouldn't. It's just in my mind, I'm taking it over to like a 5 or a 6 hour time frame. Let's go ahead and push it back one more time, right? And you see how it's just coming in together, right? However, I'm gonna bring it back down here to a 4. I'm gonna grab it from the bottom of that wick, and you can actually grab it from the bottom of this wick too. I just don't want to be that greedy. I don't need that much from NASDAQ. She pays fairly well, right? So now I'll just grab that bad boy right here, and I'll put this bad boy right here at the breakout of the flag, right? This is the flag breakout. Some people could put it all the way up here and be extremely greedy, right? Because that is the top of the flag. However, I'll put it like kind of right here, and I'll explain why I'm doing so, right? So I'll put it like right here, kind of a little bit with the breakout, a little bit above. Actually, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit lower, about right there, right? So if I'm able, and I'll put it a little bit higher just to secure that move. If I'm able to measure that same move off the bull flag that we got previously, that's the move that it'd be giving us going ahead to take us close to all-time highs here on NASDAQ to get ready to go ahead and pierce the all-time highs and get some new all-time highs, right? We keep getting new all-time highs on silver, gold, QQQ, things of that nature, SPY. NASDAQ is one of the ones that's been waiting to perform that miracle for us, right? However, traveling over here to the VIX, which is the volatility of SPY, we continue to gap around these levels, right? Same thing with the NASDAQ. However, we went ahead and gapped up, right? So that's pretty beautiful. Nice cup handle, push to the upside with a bull flag. It retraced with a nice head and shoulders and just coming all the way down, right? I have some alerts right here to allow us to know that we're starting to fill gap, right? So if we cross this white line right here, at 16,000, I said 16,000, $16.44 here on the VIX, we will get more volatile. We will get more volatile, right? And if we do cross and we start to fill up that gap, that's going to go ahead and start rallying up the market, right? Now, if we don't cross and we trigger some alerts coming above here, right? I have a reversal pattern right under it to ensure if we're going to break over it. And I just want another one right here at the structure of it just to make sure, right? However, that's going to, let me know if we're going to rally down, right? However, if we're not able to get over that 4-hour time frame on the on the VIX, I can see that we may just go ahead and reject that from the previous price action that we have, right? So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat, whether you're in the group or not. Coming over here to NASDAQ now, right? We got 2 entry points. I got an entry points for calls up here at $25,742 flat. My put entry already had triggered. I moved it down a bit. For puts, we're gonna have $25,710.50, and it actually looks like it's wanting to do its best to travel on this way. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this line right here, which was just liquidity. It's utilizing it right now as a bounce zone since it broke out from here, right? Breakout trade. Let's just go ahead and look at that. You see, we couldn't get over it right here. You can see how we couldn't get over it right there, and we finally got over it right there, and they proved it to us that they were able to get over it back then, right? So as you see, we broke back over and is utilizing that breakout zone, right? It's a breakout zone as a bounce and retest. We'll see what happens here. However, I'll keep these 2 entry points here active. And to be quite frank, we also have this entry point here for calls as well, which is going to be $25,732.25. So we got 2 call entries. We got to put entry here. And yeah, no trigger, no trade. I'll let you know once I get into the trade myself. I'm definitely logged in. All righty. And my first entry for puts was right here, like at this green line. Let me go ahead and just mark it so that you're able to see it. It was like about right around here, right? And we're seeing that we're nice and below it. One thing that I would know, I'm gonna take it off here. However, you can put that line there, and because it was my put entry where we can utilize it as, a break and retest back down, or if it's under it, a rejection zone, bringing it back down and things of that nature, if you would like to. Me, since it already played through the price action, I'll just keep reading the price action as it continues to develop, right? Let's go ahead and delete that line. It is at a nice market structure here at the blue line. The blue lines are going to be my market structure. The golden lines are going to be golden pockets. They're just key levels to market structure, just a stronger level, right? As you see how we came up here and we already rejected and couldn't get over it, right? We get over the blue lines a little bit fairly easier than we do the orange lines. So let's just keep that in mind. The green lines on the way up are going to be liquidity for you to be able to take profits. The red lines to the bottom are going to be liquidity to the downside for you to be able to take profits. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a few more for you right under these put levels so that you're able to scale out your trade a little bit quicker if you like, especially before getting to this golden pocket, right? So yep, that's how we're gonna leave this bad boy charted. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete some of these because these happen in pre-market. So we don't actually need those levels anymore right there. We don't want no lines going through our candlesticks. The only lines that we want going through our candlesticks are going to be support and resistance, right? Our golden pockets and support and resistance, right? And our golden pockets is support and resistance. However, entry points and liquidity zones, we want to make sure that our candlesticks are not going through them so that we know that they're still active or unactive, right? Let me pull up the chat just to have it up here, just in case a question comes by. However, we have about 6 more minutes until market open, right? Coming up to 5 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. As I wait for any questions to develop, I'm gonna go ahead and look at SPY really quickly, see what it looks like over here. Boom. Let's drop her down. Let's go ahead and look at it from here. Boom, nice trigger right there. I'm gonna give you an entry point for SPY because I just see it. It's like literally right here. And that's gonna be for calls. I'll find something for puts, and I'll give you this resistance for resistance entry as well for SPY, just in case we pierce it and able to hold over it. So you have these 2 white lines, 690.35 and 690.50 entry points for SPY, right? You got some liquidity above. This is not liquidity. However, I'm just gonna make it yellow. That's just gonna let us know that we finished completing the gap, right? And then we got a liquidity right above it, right above it, right? However, let me go ahead and draw you some market structure levels so that you know where price can potentially start to reject that or even potentially start to bounce at, right? All right, there we go. Alrighty. Boom. As we see, this was everything from the previous days when our chart up SPY, right? We never held for our puts, but we definitely went for our calls and cleaned up the rest of that gap. So that's amazing. And also gives you trust to go ahead and just mark it up on your chart and take it, right? I'm not begging you to take the trade. That's all up to you. I know that I'm going to take it and I know I'm going to get what I need. You know, it's something that I learned from Bernie Mac. He always used to say, well, I got mine. Make sure you get yours. You know, and that stuck with me. That right there stuck with me. Why? Because I'm a really kind person and I love to like work with people. I love to do things with people. I love to bring people up to my equality and see if they have equality about themselves, so that I can continue to learn things, right? However, what I learned about this world is make sure that you have yours first. Make sure that you have yours first. And for them young men out there, that woman will fall in love with you so much more quicker because she'll see that you're about your stuff, right? Because remember, you're wanting to bring a life through her. So you got to show her that you not only can do a great job, yet a greater job than her own father, right? So just remember that because you're going to be a father at one point too, and you're going to look at your daughter or your son the same way as well. However, we got about 2 more minutes. We got an entry point for puts here. That's more of a day trade put entry zone. This is more of a scalping, and this one's more of a day trade entry zone up here for puts. However, I'll give you a scalping one as well for puts, and it's going to be right here. If we was able to break this level, right, you can go ahead if you went in heavy. I wouldn't even do that because you could definitely sweep out some liquidity right there, but I wouldn't even try to sweep liquidity right there. I'll definitely take it at least down to close to that blue line. I just put it there so that you could see it as a potential take profit zone. And I'll give you another one here just in case you don't take that one and you take this one. Right there to the downside, of course, right here. I would take majority of my profits right there. We have a strong market structure there. Strong market structure there. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and put this bad boy over here on NASDAQ. Let me pull up the VIX one more time so I could take a look at her, you know, do a little cheating while we trade, right? I know, don't look at me no kind of way. You can't act like you wasn't looking at your next door neighbor's partner's paper when the test was coming out. You know, like, hey, hold on, what you got going over there? You know, I ain't gonna lie, I was one of those. Oh man, we didn't trigger both of my call entries already. We have about 2 more minutes, so let's go ahead and just be patient. I'm gonna put this bad boy here on a 15er. We got a nice evening start that's rejecting, testing this key level. Let's see if we can suck it up and go right back over it, or if we could just go ahead and sweep out some liquidity. As you see, we sucked it back over it, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. However, I'm gonna put this bad boy over here on a 5-minute. Just so I can go ahead and look at it. I can already see here with RSI how we moving. We got a nice inverted head and shoulders right there, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Nice another cup and handle blasting off already. I want to be in these calls, y'all, but we don't have to be the first one in, right? We got about 23 seconds. I got the 5-minute chart up. And we can use our entry points, our white lines as break and retest now, right? And then I do want to just mention that we can also use the liquidity zones here, even though it hasn't been taken out. It looks like it's about to go ahead and take it out right now, as a entry point as well, right? However, we're pretty overextended, so I'm just gonna wait and you see, boom, just triggered, right? Market just opened up, so let's go ahead and I definitely would love to see a pullback really quickly. If she wants to run, she can. Yeah, I want to see her pull back. She would do something like that, wouldn't she? Let's go ahead and stay patient, y'all. Let's go ahead and stay patient. Got a nice liquidity zone down here. Let's see if we could just break straight through it. See if she's going to trigger those puts. I'm not going to go for the puts. I might use it as a call entry point on its way back over. We're not fully extended just yet to the downside. However, I am starting to look for calls. If we get over the blue line, I'm going to buy me some calls. We're over the blue line. Let's go ahead. I'm in calls. We're in profits. It bounced off the entry. Let's go ahead and scale that. Scale it again. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, let's hold. At break even, I may just get out of here. I don't want to scale it. Now, let's go ahead and scale it one more time right here. And I'm going to add to this position. I just want to make sure that we can hold over these white lines. These were our original entry points. Right, we got a nice cup and handle here. I want to be over that golden pocket. There it is. I'm adding to that position. And I'm going to scale it. And I'm looking to add again over this white line. There it is. Let's see if we can hold it. I'm going to scale it one more time here. The VIX just triggered. I'm almost done with this trade. However, I'm going to do my best to get a little bit more out of her. I got about 4 contracts left. I'm going to scale it one more time right here. We got a nice push. Nice push. There it is. All right. There it is. There it is. I'm just going to hold these a little bit longer. Scaled it out. Scaling it out. I only have 2 contracts left on this. As you see, we're pulling back, so I gotta kind of look at my phone. It's only up $900 and something at the moment with these 2 contracts. We got a nice bull flag. Let's see if we can get this cup and handle bull flag out to go ahead and take out these liquidities. We got this new liquidity zone right here. Let's see if we there it is. Just took her out. We just took her out. That was beautiful. Well, yet we got to get over this market structure, this blue line here. And if we can get over this blue line, I'll hold the trade still. It's testing right now. We still have full time frame continuity. We have the 5-minute to 15-minute to 30, as well as the 60 buying up everything right now. So let's see if we're just going to hold this and just capitalize off of it. And then I'll be done. And I'm going over to the community to take a few more trades. All right, we're testing that blue line right now. As I mentioned, we have to be over that. We gotta do our best to be over that, right? They just power drive us right through it. I'm gonna scale one of these contracts out and just hold one bad boy. Let's just hold one bad boy to this one. Right. And as you see, I literally just have 1 contract left on that bad boy. I think it's only up like 200 and something dollars. I will get out at break even. Break even is going to be $25,740.75. It's approaching it now. I'm closing it. There it is. And I seen when I closed it with a negative 20%, negative $20. Just gave them $20 back from the whole entire move that we were able to get. We're testing this golden pocket. So I'm just gonna wait and look at my analysis here in a few seconds. What I do see is that we swept liquidity to the downside as well to the upside. We can see that here on this 5-minute time frame, right? So that's beautiful, right? We do see that we triggered my puts. Yet remember that I said, hey, we're not going to take our puts. We're going to look at everything for calls. And if anything, I'll utilize this as a bounce entry or to get in once it breaks back over, right? And as we see on a smaller time frame, when we come here, we had a double reversal pattern into this with a nice cup and handle bull flag breakout, right? And that's why we took that trade, right? We took the trade. Why? Because these are the setups that I continue to take every single day, and I'm not going to take different setups, right? However, the setup that I took was just a reversal pattern, the first universal reversal pattern that normally always happens on the chart, which is called a tweezer bottom. Yet that came into a morning star. As we see, right, we got another one right here. However, off of that golden pocket that I was just mentioning, and we just smacked them up. However, that was a nice trading session with you guys. Again, let me just go ahead and bring you down to the 5-second time frame. Well, let's not do it on this one. Let's keep it here on a 5. As you see, this is a 15-second time frame. This is the other time frame that I was utilizing and looking at to ensure my moves, and not only to ensure my moves, to give me confidence, right, to stay in these trades. I definitely feel like we're going to continue going for calls, and we're going to take this all the way up to this golden pocket, right? We're now coming into that zone, right? The bull flag breakout. Let me go ahead and bring you over here before I talk more on the smaller time frames, right? Remember when I was calling that cup and handle on a smaller time frame with bull flagging out, and then I went ahead on a 4, right? On a 4 off of this cup and handle, right? I went ahead and measured that range. We're approaching that range right now to measure the move to take NASDAQ all the way up at least 1.98%, right? Which that looks like a $550 move. Yet let's go ahead and place her back on a 5-minute. We're going to come here. This is the 15er, right? And as I said that I see us to go up, we're still pushing up, right? Grinding up slowly. Yet I'm going to bring you down here to a 5-second chart. And this is the time frame that I was that I was actually looking at. With the rest of the time frames is the time frame that I trade, right? So this is when I was telling you, hey, let's just be patient, right? And we're not fully overextended to the downside just yet, right? However, the way that we were crossing through here and the way that it was bouncing off of not just my put entry, yet the support and resistance is what gave me that chance to get in, right? So now I know that you are able to see this cup and handle, right? This was the tweeze bottom that I took into the Morningstar. However, you're able to see that cup and handle now and how I played it and just played it all the way up. Now you're able to see why did I hold the trade? Because it kept bull flagging out. And what is a bull flag? A bull flag is a bullish continuation pattern, right? A bull flag as well as a cup and handle, right? This happens after your reversal patterns, right? Just like right here, right? Oops, delete. Let us be great. Let's go ahead and move the chart. We have another one here, right? And this one just continued to grind out of here, right? So as you see, we had a nice, beautiful reversal pattern, had a nice cup and handle, boom. There goes the handle. There goes your pole. Now let's go ahead and flag out, right? We had a nice little pullback right here. With an inverse cup and handle, yet it couldn't hold and it just kept going, right? We got the nice bull flag breakout again right there, and it just keeps going. Why? Because we're in a nice little continuation and we topped out right here after sweeping out some liquidity. That's all, right? Now we're bouncing back. We got a nice reversal pattern. What is it trying to do? Give us a nice another cup and handle. All we need is to be over the 50% retracement of this candlestick here. And you can see that that's where we rejected at, right? You can see how it's coming back down and just bouncing off of it. What we need, it just did it, is to be over that red line, right? And that's just me giving you some more tips and tricks. And there goes that cup and handle that we were just talking about. Boom, right? So you could have took that trade again. Again, right? Not only can you take the trades as I'm calling them out and I'm getting into the trades myself, you can also just take them off of my analysis. Why? Because I am a live trader. Anything that I'm talking about is going to end up happening live at that moment, unless I'm telling you, hey, this is more of a day trade entry, right? So before I just go ahead and say peace to you guys, let's go ahead and come over here to SPY. Right. And as we look at SPY, we're going to drop her down to a smaller time frame. Let's just bring her down to a 2 so that we can see what actually took place here. Right. So as we come down here, right, I gave us some put entries, right, down here below. As we see, never triggered, right? That's why I gave them to you that way. However, this was more so for scalping, didn't trigger. This is more so for day trading, didn't trigger. The first one for for scalping, right, which you see I got from here, triggered. Not only did it trigger, the day trade one also triggered. Not only did it trigger, it went ahead and knocked out those couple liquidity points that I gave you, as well as cleaning up the rest of its gap, getting over a market structure to sweep out that last liquidity. Now it's playing support and resistance, right? So just showing you that so that you can start to gain trust. So whenever I do this, you're able to take those trades, right? You're not forced to have to come into the community. You can literally stay on YouTube and take those trades if you like. You know what I'm saying? However, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully, everybody made profits with me. I know people in the community definitely made profits with me. Yet, make sure, I'm only going to ask one favor from you guys. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Send this to 5 people that you truly want to start learning about financial literacy, not only financial literacy, as well as just trading, right? Until next time, peace and love.